Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world and discover that even dry SEC filings can be more exciting than you think. Get ready because Ton Strategy Company just dropped some news that's got our decoder ring spinning. Before we dive in, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents like this, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we break down these filings even further. Ton Strategy Company on September 12th of 2025 put out a current report. This isn't a full quarterly or annual report. Think of it more like a special announcement, a quick update on what's been happening. And this one's got a couple of interesting talking points. First off, they're letting us know about some pretty significant moves they've made with their own stock. You know how companies sometimes buy back their own shares from the market? Well, Ton Strategy Company is doing just that. They've kicked off their stock repurchase program, which is a plan to buy back their own shares. This program is worth a whopping $250 million. Now, why would a company do this? Well, it can be a way to return value to shareholders, signaling that management believes the stock is undervalued, or to boost the stock price by reducing the number of shares available. And they've already gotten started. They've bought back more than 250,000 shares and they're paying about 8 Fortune 30 to 1. That's a decent chunk and it shows they are actively using this program right out of the gate. As of September 11th, they had just over 60 million shares of their common stock out there in the world. So buying back 250,000 shares is a move, but it's a relatively small percentage of the total shares. It's like taking a few bricks out of a very large wall. It's a start and it's worth watching to see if they accelerate this buyback. But that's not all. They've also announced the commencement of staking operations. Now, what does staking mean in this context? If we're talking about digital assets like cryptocurrencies, staking means locking up those assets to support the network's operations. In return, you often earn rewards. For a company like Ton Strategy, it suggests they're actively managing their digital asset holdings, not just holding them, but putting them to work to generate more value. It shows a more active approach to their treasury management. Now, the filing also goes into detail about how they communicate important information. They're clear that while they use social media, like their Telegram and X, formerly Twitter, accounts, and even mention their CEO's personal social media, these aren't the primary official channels for material information. They're careful to say that anything posted on social media might or might not be material, and that their official filings with the SEC and press releases are the main ways to get the officially important stuff. They're very deliberate about distinguishing between general updates and what they consider legally significant disclosures. They do mention their website, but specifically say that any references to their website are just text, and that the information on those sites isn't officially part of this filing. It's a bit of a legal dance to ensure they're covered. Looking at their registered securities, their common stock is indeed listed on the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC, trading under the symbol TONX. This is important because it means they are subject to the regulations and scrutiny of a major stock exchange, which provides some level of transparency and investor protection. And speaking of announcements, the main supporting document for this report is a press release dated September 12, 2025. So all the juicy details we just discussed are really coming from that original announcement. The report itself is essentially confirming and filing that announcement. Finally, the report is signed by Veronica Capestina, the Chief Executive Officer. This signature confirms that the company's leadership is aware of and stands by the information presented in this filing. Putting a CEO's name on it means they're taking responsibility for these announcements. Now, looking at these numbers and actions, what's the story here? Ton Strategy Company is making moves. The stock repurchase program signals confidence from management and an effort to boost shareholder value. The commencement of staking operations suggests a more sophisticated approach to managing their assets, particularly if they hold digital currencies. These actions indicate a company that's actively working to manage its market perception and its treasury. However, we don't see any actual financial tables in this particular filing, which means we can't get a deep dive into their revenue, expenses, or profits from this report alone. We only see the actions they are taking with their existing capital. The amount of stock repurchased is relatively small compared to the total outstanding shares. This could mean they are starting conservatively, or it could signal a lack of substantial cash flow to buy back more aggressively. The staking operations are a bit of a mystery without knowing the scale of their holdings and the rewards they are earning. The key risks here, which aren't explicitly detailed in this specific filing, but are inherent in these types of actions, relate to the volatility of company stock prices and the markets for any digital assets they might be staking. If the stock price drops significantly, the buyback might not be as effective, and if the value of their staked assets declines, the staking strategy could also yield negative results. So the overall direction seems to be focused on capital allocation and potentially increasing the value per share for existing shareholders. They are showing they are active. The opportunity lies in how effectively they execute these strategies. The weakness, as far as this filing goes, is the lack of detailed financial performance data to truly gauge their overall health. We're seeing the tactics, but not the full battlefield report yet. Alright, that's our breakdown of TON Strategy Company's latest filing. What's your take on these moves, particularly the stock buybacks and the staking operations? Do you think these signal a stronger future for TONX? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out. And subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. Don't forget to check out the Discord community in the description. It's a great place for more discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.